What is up, my howling howitzers, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I am once again being a public nuisance. You know how it is. Yeah, that's actually kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is being a public nuisance and how I enjoy it, which is to say that I want to make more Will Flips content. I've been, meaning to do that for a while. I've been, wanting to get that done and all this stuff, but also I've been dealing with a lot in my life, and that's been honestly a challenge. So I have not been uploading nearly as much as I would like to. And one of the things I've decided to kind of change as of late is to start doing this again, being a public nuisance, going out and enjoying flipping in public and doing this kind of stuff, because truthfully, I started really stagnating with the Will Flip stuff when I exclusively started doing it in my bedroom again, or I guess my office. I don't really do it in my bedroom, but still, you get the idea. The Will Flip stuff is really nice and I really enjoy making it, but I kind of reached a point where I was I don't know what I even want to talk about, what I want to say, all this stuff. I couldn't come up with topics, I couldn't come up with things I wanted to talk about, and I realized that part of the thing that I was doing with Will Flips previously is using it as an excuse to go places. Right now, I'm using it as an excuse to go hang out in this park, and I think that that's a really, really good thing to be doing, because it gets me out of my house, it gets me into nature, it lets me do a lot of cool stuff that I think is important, and I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. I really enjoy making Will Flips. I really enjoy talking to you guys and letting you know what's going on and giving you ideas and stuff like that. Or expressing my ideas, I guess. And recently I just feel like I haven't been able to do that nearly as much. And I just haven't had the motivation, and I haven't been uploading. And I realized I should do the thing that I was doing of, making myself go to locations to record these, because that was half of the fun of recording these. Was I would go to a location and I would shoot it and really enjoy, getting to go out for the day and having something to do and going to get a little bit of sunlight on me maybe. Unfortunately right now in Georgia it is so hot out. So the whole wanting to be in the sunlight thing is a bit of a challenge, unfortunately, because I am constantly melting here. But at the same time, I am very thankful to be able to do it. Even if it's hot out and even if I'm a little bit uncomfortable, I think it's important for me to get that time where I can go out and, not be stuck indoors. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to do more of, and I'm hoping that it also inspires me to make more Will Flips and post them more consistently. And so far it has. I think it's kind of helped me out of the slump to some degree that I felt like I was in, dealing with all of this stuff. And I don't know, I feel good. I feel excited to make more of these and participate more and just do what I can to be active in ways that I haven't been as much. Something I wanted to talk about a little bit that I think this video would be a good place for is, not only am I trying to kind of change up what I'm doing in terms of how I'm filming these Will Flips, but I also am trying to change up what I'm doing in terms of how I'm making balisong reviews in the first place. I had a realization with Brandon recently where I realized I haven't made the kind of balisong reviews I've wanted to in 7 months. It's been a really long time. Of course, we did the collection video and at the beginning of the year, and that's always nice. And I do really enjoy making those collection videos, but also there's a lot of pressure internally that I feel on myself for those collection videos, because usually we go extremely hard for those and try to make those as good as they can possibly be. And so there's a lot of internalized pressure to do good on those videos. And, that's fine to a degree, but I don't really consider that to be the same as some of the reviews we've done. The last review that we did that I really got to kind of enjoy making just a normal review was the JW Magnet review. And that was a long time ago now. You know, and that was just kind of a normal review of a product. Because we had all the product launches after that, it was like, okay, we did the JW Magnet review, and now it's like, okay, now we need to do the collection video, and okay, now we need to do the Squiddy WH release and the Volt Pro release, and all of these different release videos, and those had easily just as much pressure behind them, if not more, than the collection video. And then other than that, it was all unscripted stuff. It was either, you know, us working on our unboxings, which, to be fair, are extremely fun, and I know you guys enjoy watching them, so I am very happy that we made them. But we did unboxings and some reacts, and then also, like, Brandon started his own little reviews, and those have been working extremely well, but that's gotten me into the mode of like, oh man, I really want to do that again. And I haven't gotten the opportunity. All the Blade Show stuff, you know, that's unscripted stuff, and that's also super fun, and people enjoy it. But, like, for me, unscripted content is honestly the toughest to edit. Like, I'm good at producing unscripted content. I can talk all day. But when it comes to actually editing unscripted content, it does not play nice with my ADHD. Let me tell you what. I, like, find it very challenging to edit unscripted content and like do all of that stuff because I don't know, it's just like basically I don't have the attention span for it, I guess. So what I'm getting at with that is like, okay, if we have a video where I need to record something and it's like, okay, we're gonna do an unscripted video, like one of the Blade Show videos, we record the whole thing, and then I have like maybe an hour of footage at the end of it, okay? And now I need to turn that hour of footage into a watchable video that's like around 20 minutes, if not less, in length. You know, that's kind of the goal of editing after that point. And so, all of a sudden, this becomes like a pretty big issue. Like, okay, now I need to record, or I need to go through an hour's worth of footage and decide what is good and what isn't and what order it needs to play in. Because here's the other thing. Just because you recorded an interview with somebody unscripted doesn't necessarily mean that the best way to deliver that interview to the audience is in chronological order, right? So like with the EPS video, some of it was in order, and it was the same thing with the Machine Wise. Some of it was in order that we recorded it, but some of it, like if we would talk about a specific thing, I might end up taking the section where we talk about the blade of this knife and we talk about the blade of this other knife and like the way that he does his blade design process, excuse me for that burp, sorry, and I put them together into a thing so that it's like, oh, when we talk about the blades, it all happens at the same time instead of happening, you know, over the course of 10 minutes at two completely separate points. So sometimes you have to make those educated decisions as to like what parts go where. And so for me, I think, I don't know how it works for other people because like Brandon, I think has a much easier time editing these unscripted videos than I do. Ooh, that was a close one. I almost cut myself. Whereas like for me, I have an extremely hard time editing these unscripted videos. And so for me, as I'm going through, what I have to do is I take that entire hour of footage and I go through it and I find every talking point and I cut that into its own little section. And then I separate all those little sections. And then I have to go through all those little sections and find out what I want to use for the beginning. And then I go through all those sections again and find out what I want to have come next. Because my brain doesn't like categorize the information well enough that I can memorize what parts I liked the most and what should go where. Every once in a while, you know, it's not like I'm completely blind. I will like remember like, ooh, he said this thing at this point and I'm going to make sure that that gets put here. Like sometimes I'll have a little brain blast like that. But for me, it really is more like having a brain blast than it is like a normal part of my process. The normal part of my process is literally rewatching all of these clips over and over and over again to try to figure out what should come next as I'm assembling the Lego puzzle that is a unscripted video. Whereas the scripted videos, it's like, you know, there's instructions included with my Lego puzzle. It's like there's a script. I know what this video should be. I can visualize it in my head. So all I have to do is select the best takes and then put those in order and then create some B-roll segments and suddenly we're good. Like it feels way easier for me to like, digest and do. You know, the thing is, at the end of the day, I've kind of realized I'm not an editor. I am a visual effects artist and a flipper and a presenter and an actor, maybe, a host. But in terms of like editing, I can edit and I can edit very well, but it is not the thing that I would consider myself a professional at due to a lot of like the smaller things that I deal with in terms of how my thought processes work or whatnot. Like I am just not good at editing unscripted videos. It's just like I can do it, but it takes much more effort for me to do it. And so I think that's important to kind of talk about. So that comes back to me saying we've been trying to change things up, and one of the things I really want to do is make more scripted videos. I want to make more reviews that I enjoy making, so I'm not doing all of this stuff that I've been glad to be doing it, but I really would like to be a little more, I don't know, consistently doing what I enjoy and making videos that I think you all will also enjoy. And so what I've kind of come to is like, I've been like, okay, how do I make reviews again? Because it's been so long and I need to come up with a way that I really want to do it. And I talked about this a bit previously in the video, By the One You Like the Look Of, where I talked about how balisongs are extremely subjective. And I sort of had a realization that was like, hey, balisongs are incredibly subjective. So why are we reviewing them like they are tech products? Really, what we should be doing is reviewing them like they are toys or like they are video games. You know, I want to talk about them like they are interesting because they are, and I want to talk about them from a subjective viewpoint of like, this is what it is like to flip this thing. Like for instance, the spiral crackerakin, you know? It's like, this is a wonderful balisong, and the reasons that it is wonderful is partially because it is good at flipping. But that's not the main draw, at least for me. For me, one of the things is like, this is one of the rarest balisongs that exists. It's very interesting because it's from a huge company, but it's from two separate limited drops of Dama Krakens and Spiral Krakens at Blade Show from 2 different years. And like, that's super interesting. And that's what makes this thing so incredible. And like, the differences in the flipping are something that I would like to bring up, but I would also like to more share like the story of why this thing is cool and why it's interesting and the subjective feeling that that gives me while I'm flipping it and why that increases my enjoyment of it, you know? Like, those little things, I think, are really cool and really good stuff to think about. And so that's more where I want to, like, put my focus when I'm working on this kind of stuff, is into that kind of thought process. So, yeah. Anyways, that's basically it for this one. I just wanted to kind of talk about how I am, I don't know, trying to do a little bit more will flips, trying to make a little bit more of this stuff happen. Hopefully I will upload on a more regular basis, but once again, that's kind of how it goes with will flips, is sometimes I'll upload a lot and sometimes I won't upload at all. And that's just how it is, and that really follows with my like overall mental health, but at the same time, I think it's important. So yeah, that's my update. This is the Spiral Kraken. I hope y'all enjoyed this little video, and I guess I'll see y'all next time. Peace.